I burned 25 kilos of fat within just 3 months and went from this to this. And you can do it too. Hi guys and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm about to explain the main principles of cutting diet for natural recreational lifters. And if you never cut before, or you did but failed, this video is for you. So the first and probably the most important one. You have to change your attitude. So as you know, there are lots of people who are struggling to lose fat and they want to make this process easier, which is absolutely normal. But remember, you can make cut easier, but you can't make it easy. You see what I'm saying? So guys, you gotta embrace the struggling because cutting diet objectively sucks. And if you think that you can make it easy, that's the wrong attitude. So you have to prepare yourself mentally to struggle. Within the next several months, it's gonna feel terrible. So you start your cutting diet, and there's a high chance that within just first couple of weeks, you'll fail. Why? Because you won't be able to resist this hunger. You know this burning feeling in your stomach? Yeah, this is why there's so many advices, sorta, if you feel hungry, just drink a little water, some kind of crap like this. No, it won't make shit. You will be still hungry with just little water in your stomach. So guys, this hunger that you'll feel during your first, let's just say 10 days of a cut, is not the real hunger. It's what we can call an insulin hunger. This is just your brain that tricks you because you're so used to this easy energy that you're getting from food. So if you follow the brain and can't resist the urge to eat, you won't go anywhere. And it takes time to adapt to new process of getting energy from your internal resources. I bet you can remind the situation where you were doing something, working on something, and you felt hungry. And you were like, okay, I'm just gonna finish this task and after I will eat. And you just bogged down and a couple of hours passed and you were like, wait a minute. I remember I felt hungry 2 hours ago, but now I don't. How is it possible? Because guys, as I said, the insulin hunger is not the real hunger. And if you really feel bad, just wait. You'll feel better after a couple of hours or in the worst case scenario on the next day. And if you think, wait a minute, I'm not ready to struggle, you're not gonna burn fat then. Principle number 3, you have to keep your strength level by any means. But how to do it? Listen here carefully. Lots of people are afraid of cutting because I'm gonna lose all my strength. No man, you're not gonna lose all your strength. You're just gonna lose temporarily 10-15% of your strength, and it's completely normal. If you start eating less, you're getting less energy, thus less glycogen from food, less creatine and all the nutrients. So it's pretty obvious that you're gonna feel weaker. But as I said, it is temporarily, and after you return to maintain or a bulking diet, you'll feel stronger and you'll regain all the strength within a couple of weeks. So don't afraid to lose strength. You will lose around 10-15% all the basic compound movements, especially pressing power will just plummet. And there's a very tricky situation because lots of people think this way. Okay, it's a cutting diet. I have to do more sets and more reps. Have you heard about this myth? Like 12 to 15 reps, like 4 sets is for cutting and 6 to 8 reps is for bulking diet. This is just classic gym bro myth, which is bullshit. It is completely opposite, guys. You have to keep your strength level by any means because your strength level will decrease, as I said, by around 10-15%, but your workout capacity will be just bottom down. And there's a problem because if you try to bring more volume, what's happening is that you make your training way less effective. Because if you can squat 200 kg, on a cutting diet, you'll be able to squat around 180 kilos. But if you try to do this volume work, you will be basically squatting with your warm-up weight for like 3-4 sets, and you will feel super weak and you will lose all your freaking strength if you try to bring this volume work, guys. So don't do it. Try to grind, try to 1 rep max, stick to high intensity. But what about cardio? Do you have to add more cardio? Guys, this is a very tricky question because there are lots of people who would advocate for adding more cardio, and if you have a look at this old school bodybuilders, during a cutting phase, they would add more cardio. But I think for a natural lifter, it is almost impossible to add more cardio on a cut-in diet and maintain strength level. Because if you think this way, okay, instead of eating 1500 calories, I would rather eat 2000 calories but do cardio each day that will burn 500 calories. Okay, good luck with this. I mean, if you're able to do this, do it. But there's like almost 100% chance that if you're a natural lifter, you're not going to be able to do that. So what you have to do is just to try to keep the same level of cardio since your first day, because you already put your body into this shock state. Being in a calorie deficit is very challenging for your body, and when you try to put more cardio on top of all that, it's probably not going to be able to recover. And if you don't do cardio, start doing it, keep it for like a couple of weeks, and only after it, start your cut-in diet, during which you will feel body dysmorphia, guys. And if you think that you feel severe body dysmorphia, type of, I'm not jacked enough, I'm not big enough, that's just peanuts, because on a cut-in diet, you will feel I'm not lean enough type of body dysmorphia, which is way heavier. Also remember that during a cut-in diet, you lose all the volume, but you're not going to be lean enough till your last couple of weeks, so you will objectively look not good. And on top of all that, each day you will feel like you're not getting actually leaner. So how to know if you make any progress objectively? So measure those three things. First is your body weight. If it's going down, it's a good sign. On top of all that, measure waist circumference, because there's not so much muscle in this waist area, but there's lots of fat and visceral fat on top of all that. So if your waist getting smaller is a good sign. And third, you can use this sucker. But remember, there is a problem with calipers, because you can find lots of, tests on how to measure your body fat. And guys, you know what? I'm telling you this, they are pretty freaking inaccurate, because according to some tests, guys, and I did some, measurements. I remember like Greg Doucet made a video on this. There are some, guides online, some articles on how to measure. So according to some of these measurement techniques, I was from 6 to 8% body fat in the end of my cut-in diet, which was not true, because as you can see, I was around like 10, 11% at max. So how can you use this objectively? Just find a spot, or maybe a couple of spots, and measure it. That's it. If it's getting smaller, you're losing fat. It's that simple. But trying to, figure out your body fat, I don't think it's a good tactic, because anyway, it's not going to be precise. And why do you need this, precise body fat? Because when we're talking about body fat, we don't mean like the real body fat. We mean how lean a person looks, which is a kind of different story. Lots of people make the same mistake. They cut like professional competitive bodybuilders. They don't season their food, they, try to be depleted, they don't drink water, which doesn't make any sense. Because if you're not a competitive bodybuilder, so your main goal during a cut-in diet is not to go on a stage and to look good during some event. Your main goal is to burn fat. So you have to drink water. You actually have to drink more water, because it will boost your performance. You'll feel better. You can season your food if you want. Salt is really, really important. You can also take creatine. Don't be scared of this water retention, because your main idea is to burn fat the most efficient way and not lose strength. There's a very idiotic myth on how to lose fat better is to eat more frequently. You should do completely opposite, because if you try to eat, let's just say, 5 meals a day, and you're on a cut-in diet, each meal will leave you dissatisfied. Absolutely, because it will be around 300-400 calories. It's like just baby meal. But if you have just 2 or 3 meals, even on a cut-in diet, they will be pretty decent meals, guys. So it's way easier on a cut-in diet, just, mentally, to eat less frequently. There's a couple of things that you will experience during a cut-in diet. First is that you will feel cold. Even if it's not cold, objectively, you will feel freaking cold, guys. I remember in the end of my cut-in diet, I was working out in the gym wearing freaking gloves. You have less energy, so your body will feel cold. If it's needed, just, wear more freaking clothes during exercise. That's freaking simple. And another thing that you will experience that 90% of your cutting diet, you will want to sleep more. And guys, it is absolutely normal because your body wants to put you in some kind of stasis. So every morning you will feel like you don't want to get out of bed, but you have to. Just freaking do it. But this is a very interesting paradox because during the last weeks of your cutting diet, when things getting really crazy, you will actually have some problems with your sleep. You won't be able to sleep during the night more than like 4 hours. And you will have this, absolutely chaotic sleep. Why is it happening? Probably because your CNS on fire, or your brain thinks that you're dying or something, and it tries to kind of mobilize all the resources. I don't know. So the last couple of weeks are going to be really, really challenging. Now the questions: how long you should cut and how much of a calorie deficit. Here's the deal. I sincerely believe that you want to make your cut as intense as possible, because on a cutting diet, you're not making any gains besides burning fat. So imagine a situation: 2 guys. First is gonna cut for 5 months eating 2,000 calories a day. Another guy will cut for just 3 months eating 1,500 calories a day. By the time the first guy finishes his cut, the second guy will have been making gains for 2 months already. So can you imagine how freaking more efficient it is to make your cut more intense? But it depends on your power will, basically, because if you're able to take it to that extreme level, you will benefit from it. So if you already made your novice gains and you are whether intermediate or an advanced lifter, I don't think you have to cut longer than around 3 months. But I can get shredded within just 3 months. Yeah, exactly. And I think you don't wanna get shredded within your first cut. Because objectively, guys, if you're around 25% body fat, you don't really expect that you want to go to like 6% body fat within just one cut. What's going to happen is that you're going to lose lots of strength and lots of muscles, and you won't be able to keep this low body fat level because this is not your natural body fat level, guys. So you can get shredded, but only if you repeat this process several times. So for instance, if you're 25% body fat, you'll go to like 12% body fat within 3 months, okay? Then you bulk, and then you start your next cutting diet being like 22% body fat, let's imagine. And then you will go to around like 10% body fat. The next cutting diet, you will start around like 20% body fat, and you can go to like 9% body fat. And the more and more and more you do it, the leaner you finish your bulking diet, and the more muscular and bigger you finish your cutting diet. But if you try to be shredded and muscular within just your first cut, don't be delusional, man. And if you are a novice lifter or you don't exercise at all and you contain lots of fat, you're objectively fat, I think you wanna cut as long as it's needed. You just keep deficit and lift, and there's gonna be more than enough internal resources of your body to make those novice gains. I see the same mistake over and over again. A fat guy comes to a gym. I see him hitting a gym for a year or for a couple of years, and he's not getting leaner. So what's the freaking point? So don't be this guy. Keep the deficit until you get lean. And the last thing, I mentioned about being shredded. But I do genuinely believe that if you are a natural recreational lifter, you don't want to go below 8 or 10% body fat on your cutting diet because there is no point. Overall, it's not going to be beneficial, it'll ruin your health, and you will just, waste additional month or a couple of months without making progress. So you don't really want to do it, right? So don't go too low. But remember, guys, most of the people overestimate or underestimate their body fat percentage. Lots of people be like, I'm 15% body fat, when in reality, guys, like 20 or even 25. So don't be delusional and objectively estimate your body fat percentage. So guys, that's it. Bunch of principles and advices. And as I said, I didn't mention those dietary advices that I will cover in one of my future dedicated videos. Make sure you subscribe so you won't miss this video, and I'll see you later.